Hello everyone! When I'm following other artists, I'm the most curious about what they are not showing, what's not on their Instagram, what's in their sketchbook. So I decided to record only for YouTube, where I'm going to show what's in my sketchbooks, and we are going to start with my first one. This is my very first sketchbook. It's gonna be like me reviewing myself a bit, and I will show you where I started. This is like my origin story actually with this sketchbook. There will be a few more after this one, and I hope you will enjoy this video. See you over there. First of all, my very first sketchbook has a cover. This was made at the time by my girlfriend and now a wife. My wife, who was a girlfriend back then, did this by hand to protect my sketchbook inside my backpack. And actually this is a really good idea to do if you have a precious book like this. So this was a present for me. Let's enter the, yeah. This was a present, and it was sitting on a shelf for a long time empty, because it was so precious to me and I didn't want to mess it up. But then I started reading a book, and there were some exercises about drawing, and I started drawing, and this is the very first page. And this was the exercises, that drawing a chair, now a mug, and this is, we are talking about 2011. And I love showing this page to my students and everyone who is curious about starting to draw. This is where it starts, and I'm so not ashamed of these pages, and actually so proud that from here, that later on it will get better. But I always say that there is no bad drawing. This is what I mean, because you have to start from somewhere. That you can't start from the top level, that you need to put the pen on the paper and practice. And this is where it starts. And I would like everyone to remember this. So now, let's speed up a bit. That there's a coffee table, cheap IKEA coffee table. My attempt to draw my girlfriend back then, and now wife. And I tried drawing a mug. As you can see, it's not much, is it? But in the meantime, like, I'm a bit learning about my capabilities. What can I do? And if I do this, what is the result? And then suddenly, this is a bit more pulled together. And because I'm exploring myself, I'm finding out what can I do, what I can't, and what I need to improve. There is a bit of a work on negative space. This is a good exercise to seeing things as just one, and try to recognize the shapes. And some more. This was me. No, this wasn't me. This was me. I wasn't very kind to myself. I said rubbish. This was my sister. My sister is famously very good at drawing. And when I started drawing, there was also this part of it that's kind of knowing that there will be a bit of a confrontation with my sister, asking, oh, are you drawing now? And so on. And this was her literally taking the book and trying to show me how it should be done with a pencil. And at the end of the day, I'm an artist working full-time as an artist, and she's not. So, and more drawings that I'm getting more detailed now. This was that I need to draw a baked good, and this was a scene. I think at the time this was the most ambitious scene I tried to draw. This was my sister's living room, and that getting the perspective wrong and trying to find actually a straight, what looked to me like a straight line when you try to draw is not a straight line because of the perspective. And trying to understand, look in here also it says wrong angle, that's wrong proportion. So there's never a wrong answer as long as you are doing the work and practicing. Other attempts, I was pretty happy with this watch. I was working at the time in 2011 in an advertising agency, and in my lunch breaks I was always drawing. That this was some Turkish tea, and here I drew my colleagues' headphones, which I was pretty happy with this one. That's why I actually added to the sketchbook at the time. And these are my juggling balls, which are still on my desk after all these years. I was at a lunch. This was what I was seeing out of the window. And this is my first attempt at watercolors. This was a scene from not far from our place back then in Istanbul by the sea. And then there is this one. I always find this thought funny that I went to we were sitting at this park. It was a small park and a playground for kids, and I drew this scene, and it says, "It was the hardest object to paint I ever tried, but I think I pulled it off. Happy with it. Don't rush." And then I had this thought that if you go and take photographs in the playground, you're a pedophile. If you go and paint, you're an artist. And I thought basically you are doing the same thing, sitting and looking at the playground. And but if you went and start taking photos, parents don't take that lightly. So just keep that in mind. I had a bad experience about that once. This was my remote controlled car, and this was at a lunch, 11th of May 2011, the office in Mecidiyeköy in Istanbul. And what to say? Watercolor of my car. And this, I always say that this drawing here, the drawing of R2D2, this was a model, like small model on my desk. This was a turning point for me. Like when I did this one, after all these you saw, I was like, I think I might be onto something here. And also these 2 pages contrasting so much also gave me an idea, showing me when, with the abilities I had, when something is more angular and very defined shapes, I'm good at drawing that. When it's nature, like smooth shapes and surface of a water, trees, I wasn't so good at. So it was immediately showing me where I need to work, but also what my strengths were and where I could go from here. Different attempts, exploring different techniques. This was a scene from home, the teapot we had. And these are also again from... Drawing is good because it shows you the things you normally wouldn't see. Pirates of the Caribbean. When we went to watch this 3D movie of Pirates of the Caribbean. And this was again at lunch, when everyone was chatting, I was sitting at the table and drawing. Another one from lunch. And I asked my friends to say something to remember. That this is such a precious book because of all this and all the things I went through with this book, and like kind of my style developing while doing this. And in the meantime, I'm working this advertising agency for the first time, old friends, new friends, and that everything is kind of woven together with this book. This was a shelf from my office. This was waiting at the doctor's office, I think. No. No, waiting some sort of government office. I drew this. And some abstract attempts. I want to find an idea that people's minds will be swept away with its awesomeness. I'm still searching for this one. This was a scene on the table. We went for a meeting with the agency, and this is what was there. From famous ferries and on the Bosphorus in Istanbul. This is from that park that you saw earlier, and I drew this picnic table, I guess this is. I think said it here. Second drawing in the park, enjoying pudding from here and coffee from England, watching scary looking old ladies, so-called teyze. Teyze is a Turkish name for... This actually means aunt, but those scary old ladies, you would also call them teyze. And this was like a full page like this of my wife. And if you think this was an attempt, there was an attempt on my wife, not on my wife's life, but attempt on drawing her. This is where it started. And this one, I think there is a bit of an improvement. What do you think? And in the meantime, this is not a watercolor book. But it's taking the water and the paint surprisingly well. It's not even getting so wavy. This is from, I think this famous brand. It should be, if I can open, Paper Blanks, and it's totally like, if you have a book like this lying around, because these are like good for presents, and this is how I got it. And if you don't have a watercolor paper, you can totally start with something like this. This was the flowers at home. This was me again at the lunch. Everyone went out for lunch, and I was staying in the office. It was nice and quiet, and I drew this. Another time, I had my packed lunch with me in the office, so everyone went out. In that nice quiet time, I was using the time to draw. And actually, like, thanks to those moments that I, instead of just going out and chatting with people, which there is nothing wrong with it, but every now and then I was staying back and enjoying this moment by myself and drawing. That helped me to get better and develop and find my style, and now I do this full time. So if you're also working in an office job, keep that in mind maybe. This was again at the lunch that I went out to lunch with friends, but I had my sketchbook with me, and this was my friend's, I guess this is called clutch. But I didn't have time to paint it, I guess. This was again from a lunch I went with friends at work. It was like the place was the atmosphere was very nice in this place, I remember, and I wanted to draw. And even then you could see I was like, I don't want to call this cutting corners, but I know, being smart and being aware of your abilities, that I was never good with drawing people, and I wouldn't attempt drawing them, especially on the spot like that. And instead what I did, I just drew the table and I just put their names where they're supposed to be. And this is a great memory of that time still, but I kind of didn't want to ruin it with trying to draw their faces, which I knew I would fail. So I avoid the pitfalls and where I'm weak, and doubling down on my strengths. And this is also the way to get better and also not discouraged. My glasses. Again, this was from lunchtime, I remember. And at this time, I think, we are on holiday next to my parents, south of Turkey, Marmaris. And they changed this name now. But back then, there was a cookie packed cookie you could buy from a shop in Turkey. It was called this word, and I'm not gonna say it. That now they changed it, but for a long time in my childhood, this is, and I like the chocolate cookies and white inside. Basically, it's like Oreo, and this is like written so strongly in my mind now. I didn't know what this word and the other N word means back then, but yeah, good that they changed it. As now we are by the sea and on holiday, that there will be some holiday scenes, and I'm again with my sketchbook, and I'm trying to, when I have the time, I'm using it to draw and paint. And I think I'm around this time I'm getting more confident with painting as well, as you can see. And also at the beginning I told you I started reading a book and there were exercises. I was doing those exercises. Around here I don't even know where the book is. I put it aside and I'm just doing my own thing now. I'm feeling confident and like exploring by myself, and anytime I can spare I'm drawing and painting and getting better. Another sight from the sea, and you can see that I made a mistake with the perspective, and this boat ended up, because when you see with your eye you can see things are going far away. So when I try to put that on the page, I just put it so far because it was far away. But actually if you think the water is leveled and things on the page on a 2-dimension doesn't go so far away, it just gets smaller. But as a first impulse I just drew it over there, and then when I put the line where the sea was finishing, this boat ended up on the mountain, and I actually liked it. And I wrote here supposed to be here, and meaning that it's not supposed to be there. And I actually like it that when you make these kind of mistakes, just own it, show it that I made a mistake there, but I still put the time to draw it. So I'm proud of this page. Other scenes from the holidays. This one says hero of the day because it was like first time we had iPhone, went on this holiday, got lost in the woods on the when we were trying to find the top of the hill, and thanks to the map in this phone we managed to find our way back. This is Turkish beer and the sunscreen. I think the important thing about this, I used the water from the sea, salty water, to paint this, and still I can feel that there's a funny feeling and texture to it, and I totally recommend you doing that as well. This was our analog camera at the time we had in the magazine underneath. That I always like this page. It reminds me like my style was turning into like cartoonish because of very strong lines and angles I was doing, and I was enjoying what I was doing. This was my office building back then. The agency I was working was called Youth Republic. Like I was saying before, when there are angular shapes and very defined objects, I'm much better at that. So then later on this also affected my style, because I enjoy drawing close-up scenes like what's on the table or inside of a room or a building, rather than nature or people. This was an attempt of capturing my friends from a lunch scene again. Let's put that here maybe. This was again from home. Like, this is the other thing I could say about this. When you start with your first sketchbook, just whatever you can find, draw. Like, this was just a corner in our home, and curtains, pictures on the wall, and clearly at that day I didn't have anything to do. I wanted to draw, but I didn't have anything to draw. I just drew the one corner from the house, and you can find thousands of things in your house. Just really at this point, draw whatever. Some Naturmort, I think this is called, Dead Life, Dead Nature, like static things. And I drew this bowl of fruits. This was from the office again, the PlayStation in the office, where we were playing football all the time with other guys. Attempt on hand lettering as well. That's, you know, later on I also practice that more and have my own hand lettering classes now. To live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong. I think this I like this saying so much, but in the meantime, it's really also the idea of this book. Just don't be afraid of being wrong. There is no bad or wrong drawing. Just draw and paint. I think this was the time we went to Poland because it's a Polish beer. Another scene from the home. This is by my sister-in-law Jagoda's bunny. We made gingerbread houses. Gingerbread house. Of course, Christmas time. What movie will you watch? Holiday. For those of you who doesn't know, this is a CD. There used to be people used to watch things on a CD like this, that you were putting into a device that was connected to the TV, and it would get scratched and you wouldn't be able to watch it later if it scratched too much, or if it would get stuck in the meantime. You couldn't just open Netflix and stream. That was also a time. And just a lighter, why not? And this was on the plane. I drew this because this was the beer they gave, and this waffle. Oh, let's have a look what I am saying here. The beer that ruined the guy's clothes next to me. On the way back to Istanbul on the plane, I asked for a beer to drink, but I spilled half of it on me and the guy next to me. Maybe that's what happens when you try to draw on a tiny tiny table in the plane, trying to balancing your sketchbook and your can of beer. Also, it's turning into a review of my English at the time. What is split? Later I ordered a coffee and the guy said, "You better not split this one because it's hot." So I didn't. It all happened because I was trying to feed candy to the green little monster. You know what? I don't know what this means. What is green little monster? I was trying to feed candy to the green little monster. Maybe it was something in my phone, because the smartphones were such a new thing, and I wrote above the clothes and then fixed that with clouds. Okay, this was a scene from Warsaw, and this might be my first drawing of Pałac Kultury, this building, which is my favorite building in Warsaw, and definitely not the last, because later on I went on to drawing this building many times, and I'm planning to do even more in the future with some projects of mine that are coming. And I even put my resolutions in here. Earn more money, drop down to 80 kilogram, have 6 packs. I'm still working on that. And that. This too, but I dropped down to 80 kilos at the time. Because I put so much weight, started working in an agency. That's why I can see why this was my resolutions after 2011. Participate in an exhibition, get 1,000 followers on Instagram. I achieved that in time. Have Vertirama exhibition. That had also happened. Vertirama was I was taking photos that are not panoramic, but it was vertical, so I call them Vertiramas. It was starting in front of you and finishing behind you in one picture. Win an award later on. I don't remember if it was 2012, but later on I won an award in advertising, in copywriting. Read 4 adventure books. Read 2 more books. Use your Schengen. See somewhere new. Take more photos. Draw more and enjoy. Okay. I think I need to speed up a bit. In here I can see a bit of watercolor sketch journaling style starting to shape, because there is a scene from Starbucks and then there is a zoom in to the logo and a bigger title here. Careful, the beverage you are about to enjoy is extremely hot. And that I also took another thing on the side from the cup, so that slowly I'm getting into finding my style that I today use. At home, some smoothie. Luck is an attitude, another saying I like, and I apparently decided to. I don't know, maybe I didn't have anything to draw, so I went with the typography. Another, again, the full spread. This was my favorite peanut butter from Turkey. I am very into peanut butter these days, and I still am. This was my first watercolor set that I got from my wife. How was it called? The brand. Maybe when I find it, maybe I will write it underneath somewhere. Newton, something and Newton. Walter and Newton? I don't remember. But I like how expressive I painted this. In retrospect, I think I wouldn't do these drops so, I don't know, kind of symmetrical, or around, more. I would scatter it better and make different sizes. This I remember thinking, I'm good at drawing things when I look at them, but what would happen if I didn't look at them and I attempted the same bottle, and I realized that I actually can't draw from my memory. And this was me testing this idea. I used to collect little statues of owls. These were 2 of them. I don't know why. This was the camera we had at the time. It's actually still over there behind me, but we are not using anymore. This is, I think in English they call it shisha. This is, the way it is a common way of smoking in Turkey. Not as common as smoking a cigarette, but there is a bottle and there is a water, and when you suck the air, it goes through the water, and it's supposed to be a bit cleaner than smoking because it goes through water. It's more of a ritual thing, I think, now in Turkey. For when there are specific cafes, you can go and do this. And the fun thing is they call shisha, and shisha means bottle in Turkey. I think because this is a bottle with water, that's why they call it like that. I want to try something new today, and I did a bit of abstract drawing back then. Because I feel like I might screw, here we go, I already made a mistake. Because I feel like I might screw my sketchbook up if I do something new. Something unplanned. Because my sketchbook is so fucking beautiful with all those drawings and paintings. But this isn't what sketchbook is about. This sketchbook is about being brave. It's about being about not being afraid to try. It is about improving yourself. I love how this sketchbook starts with those unsure doodles. I am proud of them. I'm not ashamed, because they lead the way. So now I will try something new. If I screw it up, so be it. This, I think it should be a mantra for anyone who is starting with a sketchbook. It's just don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like, always try new things. It's okay. And I did this. Another beer bottle. Another Polish brand. And another abstract attempt that I think from 2 pages before, that like I'm in an era that I want to try new things, and I actually really like this one. I remember doing this and really enjoying the process of let's say, when you are drawing something abstract, you are not looking at anything, that you are completely here and you are just whatever is in your brain that comes out through your tip of your pen. And this process is very meditative and I really enjoy it. And recently I started doing more of that. Like, I will just make it, show it quickly, like these ones. And more will come. I will share more of these, and there will be a class about this as well. And I really enjoy this, doing abstracts. Another abstract attempt. Parallel universe is only a brush stroke away. To be honest, I'm impressed with the me using the white pen and with the interesting choice of fonts for the hand lettering, and that it looks like there's something going on, and then this is like a window into another universe. From the plane, the wing. You never watch Fringe? Fringe was a very big show at the time. We were all very crazy about it. And I tried to draw. I remember being a bit not obsessed but interested in these character creations, and I was trying clearly here. This was challenge 30. For my 30th birthday, my wife asked all my friends to give me one challenge, and as a birthday present to do in my 30th, and these were all the things I got from them, and I put them all together here. Surf around the world, 6-pack, big artwork for home, have a back and chest wax, okay, another surf, still a street sign. So these were the challenges I got. This was the phone holder my brother-in-law made, and my phone. And I was watching Two Broke Girls. Again, look, I didn't attempt to draw those two beautiful actresses from that show, if you remember, if you watch this show. I just drew the logo, and this still illustrates what you want to illustrate. Focus on your strengths. Attempt of drawing the office, but I left it in the middle. Come whoever you are, come. This is a saying from, I don't know how it's called. This is a very wise man from Turkey who lived a long time ago, Mevlana. And he has this saying, come whoever you are, come. But when you are entering the mosques, they say, but take your shoes off first. And I want to draw attention to that, I guess. And this was another typography for Istanbul I made. Again, we are in, actually, where is the date here? I'm curious now which year we are in. Maybe we'll find it. This is my wife Again, like I'm saying, I'm not good at drawing people. This is not my strength, but this doesn't stop me from trying either. A scene from the beach. I love the beach, but perspective is a bitch. I guess the scene is not supposed to be so steep that it's supposed to be more going into the distance, and I didn't manage that very well. But I'm very happy with this drawing of my wife. This is not my wife. That's because I'm not very good at, you might think, like from this page to this page, you might think, oh, I just drew my wife naked. No, this was the beach we were at, close to my parents' place, and there was this statue, and I was drawing this statue. Maybe if I painted it with white and gray shades, it would be more visible, but this is the statue, not my wife, okay? But similar shape, anyway. This, I remember, I try to draw, I will write it at the bottom, I don't remember exactly, I think this is how it's called. La Joie de Vivre from, I'm so afraid to say it's wrong, which artist. I think this was a Picasso, and I want to try the big artists and like try to develop from their style and by copying. And this was that attempt. Another attempt. This was using a style like this on my own painting from, let me find it. Where is it? That I had my own painting before, and I'm now doing the same painting with, sorry, not here, with Picasso style. So this is what's happening here. So you can see this page and this page, and then this versus this. That, again, me trying to be brave and trying new things. Another typography, but this one is actually, I really like it. Keep calm and carry on. The famous British, I think this was at the time, was made for war, for people, by the British government. And another brave attempt. I actually really like this one. But how I kept this black and white, and maybe this I could repeat. If I repeat it, I will share with you guys. That try to draw this, but now I don't know how many years later, more than 10 years later, and see the difference. And I guess autumn came. This is 2012 October. This was, we went to, I think, Gdańsk in Poland on holiday. And they had these beautiful houses, all different colors, and I love this page. It has a very special place in my heart. And this is back at home. We were watching the show Merlin, and I drew our coffee table. And we were watching from a laptop back then, and from websites, not like Netflix, but from websites for free. That was also a thing. And this is the end. And I wanted to finish the sketchbook at the time, drawing a chair and drawing a mug, because if you remember, that's how it started. I drew a chair and drew a mug, and at the end of it, from page 1, March 2011, and now it's on this page, January 2013, a chair, and a mug, and a mug. And and I guess this was my critique on myself, not much change. But I can see some improvement. Still, I think this chair has 2 short legs, but perspective is a bit better. And I think I a bit found my style, that more single line and rather than this more sketching style than this. And I think I should have painted these back then. That would be a better showing how it was on the first page and how I'm doing now, because I got into watercolors and painted a lot as well. So this was it from my first sketchbook, and let's put it back in its, as you can see, even the elastic is gone, that it's not holding anymore. I will put it in its protective shelf, and this was it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing my origin story, and I hope this will inspire you to start your own sketchbooks, or maybe if you have sketchbooks, you will have a look at your own and remember all those good memories. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.